Have you ever heard of the place called Sagrada Familia? It is the tallest church that has ever been built. Right now, currently, it stands at about 556 feet tall, with a recent completion of its 18th and last tower, the Tower of Jesus Christ. So just this past week, si Pope Leo celebrated Mass in this church, gave his ceremonial blessing to inaugurate this new tower. But what's interesting about it is, of course, it's the tallest building, but also it's probably one of the longest being built. At this point, it's already running for about 144 years of construction. And it's almost done. It's almost done, but not yet. And in fact, if we just go throughout its history, its plans that was conceptualized by the architect Antoni Gaudi, yung initial blueprints niya, nasunog nung nagsisimula pa lang sila. And along with that, it went through so much delays because of wars, politics, and just funding shortfall. Kaya naman for over a century, when tourists would come to this place, magpipicture sila, pero they would have a picture of it with cranes, with scaffolding, parang hindi perfect, di ba? Hindi Instagrammable. City planners in that area would somehow just try to work around it, work through its seemingly perpetual incompleteness. And skeptics would walk by and say, "Tignan mo to, hindi natapos oh." They would say this was Gaudi's folly, an impossible dream draped in scaffolding. And yet, over time, over the decades, stone by stone, brick by brick, year after year, generation after generation, it rose. It rose to be where it is today. And Antoni Gaudi, the visionary architect, he died in 1926 with only its construction about 10 to 15% complete. Nagsisimula pa lang sila. But he trusted that one day, it will be completed. When he would be asked of completion dates, he would famously say, "My client is not in a hurry." And who is his client? Not the developer, not the people of Barcelona, but God himself. That's why he can say, "My client is not in a hurry." So today, 144 years in, we can look at a building that spent most of its existence clothed, masked in scaffolding, but yet today stands to be one of the most breathtaking things that man has ever made. Look to its last tower, the Tower of Jesus Christ, that was just installed last February. Look to that, 172 feet tall, finally risen above the city sky, a city that waited for almost more than a lifetime to actually see it. Why am I sharing this to you today? Because friends, perhaps some of you come here and you find yourself in the middle of something that God has begun in your life. May sinimulan siya at nandun ka sa gitna nun. Perhaps it's a dream. Perhaps it's a calling that's unfinished. Or maybe you're waiting on reconciliation with someone. Or perhaps just a blessing, a breakthrough na matagal mo nang pinagdadasal and you've been waiting for it to come to pass. You've been waiting for so long for its fruition and fulfillment. So if that's you today, given this story and this history, allow me just to remind you that God does not abandon what He has begun. God does not abandon what He has begun. In Philippians chapter 1 verse 6, "I am confident that the Creator who has begun such a great work among you will not stop in mid-design, but will keep perfecting you until the day Jesus, the Anointed, our liberating King, returns to redeem the world." In other words, we always hear this being said, "He who began a good work in you will be faithful to complete it." You see, our client, our boss, he is not in a hurry, but he is always working. Year after year, when it seems like nothing is happening, he's laying down the stones, he's laying down the bricks. Every season that went by, perhaps it was just silent, uneventful, he was raising up towers. And what he is building in you through long, patient trust will be a beautiful monument, a beautiful life that when people see it, it would make sense why it took that long. And so my friends, today, if you're in the middle of a move of God in your life, if you're in the middle of waiting, trust God in the waiting and in the working, because He makes all things beautiful in His time. Amen.